Partners?
Partners.
It would appear Hollywood's reign of bad endings, ironically, has no end. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for yet another top 10 worst movie endings. For this list, we're taking a look at another bushel of anticlimactic, ill-conceived, and downright rotten cinematic conclusions that were in dire need of rewrites. If you're wondering where The Devil Inside and The Matrix Revolutions are, be sure to check out our previous two lists for the top 10 worst movie endings.
Will we ever see him again?
I suspect so. Someday.
Oh, and since we're discussing the ends of all the movies in question, a spoiler alert is definitely in order. Number 10, the mega happy ending, Australia. At almost 3 hours, it's hard not to keep checking your watch throughout this overblown 2008 epic.
It's a real tragedy. How terrible.
Every time you think Australia is finally gonna end, the story just keeps dragging.
You got a filthy mind, lady.
You're an animal.
I wouldn't have it on with you if you were the only tart left in Australia, you hear me?
It's not enough for our lovers to reunite and go home. On top of that, we need to sit through a disgustingly sentimental finale. For a movie set during the bombing of Darwin, things couldn't have wrapped up better for our heroes if they went over the rainbow.
And I will hear you.
Number 9. Nevada was Nick the whole time. Open windows.
This is not the best time. We are going to leave an open window for you to talk to us.
Open Windows centers on Elijah Wood's Nick, who gets roped into a kidnapping by a stalker named Cord.
Should I click on this cord?
Sure.
Once Nick served his purpose, Cord seemingly disposes of him. Upon receiving a call from the mysterious hacker Nevada, however, Cord learns that the real Nick spent most of the night unconscious.
What? Who are you?
You know who I am.
Cord's actually been playing cat and mouse with Nevada, who disguised himself as Nick with a high-tech mask.
I became Nick Chambers.
Piling on one too many twists for its own good, this doppelganger revelation is so inexplicable that even Mission Impossible would be howling.
This is the real Nick Chambers. Don't worry, he's okay. I stole his identity on his computer so I could find out who you were and find a way to hunt you down.
Number 8. Batman's Second Coming, The Dark Knight Rises. A lot of people seem split on whether or not The Dark Knight Rises was a successful ending to Christopher Nolan's Batman trilogy. But even die-hard fans seem to agree that the film's conclusion makes about as much sense as the final act of Interstellar.
Yes, you are.
So, somehow Batman survived getting blown up by a bomb. Makes it to Florence, meets up with Selina, and somehow Alfred shows up at the same cafe as them. Did planets line up, or is Alfred just hallucinating from grief? Oh, also, it turns out Blake is Robin.
You should use your full name. I like that name. Robin. Thanks.
Number 7. Seriously, a split personality? Secret Window.
Gave me my name. Told me everything you wanted me to do.
Except for revealing that the whole movie was a dream, a split personality twist is easily the cheapest cop-out imaginable.
What is happening to me? Oh, I think you know. I think you have a real good idea.
The ending to Secret Window slaps the audience across the face as Johnny Depp's Mort comes face to face with himself?
It's mine. Wasn't ever anybody else's.
That's right, John Shooter, the man who has supposedly been giving people the axe, was just a character Mort created to do his dirty work.
Fix the ending. Gotta fix the ending. And how exactly do you suppose we ought to do that?
Then, in a finale that's more laughable than it is frightening, the two-faced Mort takes revenge on his cheating wife and partakes in some bountiful corn.
Her death will be a mystery. Even to me.
Number 6, a storybook ending, AI, artificial intelligence. You know how sometimes a parent will tack on a happy ending to a melancholy story for their child's benefit? That's the best way to describe the final 20 minutes of AI.
If I am a real boy, then I can go back. And she will love me then.
The problem is, the movie was intended for adults.
Dearest David, your wish is my command.
Rather than ending with David at the bottom of the ocean like it should have, evolved mechas arrive 2,000 years in the future, the Blue Fairy resurrects David's mother for one day, and they have cake.
By now, indeed, the windows were beginning to dim. David drew the shades without even needing to be asked.
In its pursuit to be heartwarming, AI instead left most moviegoers enraged. Number 5. Lucy's a flash drive now. Lucy. It's debated whether or not Lucy is a smart movie or a dumb movie. One thing's for certain, though, its ending is 100% idiotic. As her brain reaches maximum capacity, Lucy transcends all humankind, becomes one with the space-time continuum, and leaves behind a flash drive for Dr. Morgan Freeman. It almost feels like director Luc Besson is trying to channel 2001. But instead of going out on a profound note, Lucy leaves the audience slapping their foreheads in frustration.
Estou em toda parte.
Number 4. Game over.
I don't think so.
Or is it? Saw 3D. Saw 3D keeps in the tradition of its two predecessors, jumping the shark with an inconceivable last-minute twist.
Something like that doesn't get you to change your perspective on life. I don't know what will.
Remember Dr. Lawrence Gordon, the guy who cut off his foot? Well, get this. Jigsaw spared his life, and Lawrence has been his partner in crime ever since.
Congratulations, Dr. Gordon. You survived.
In retaliation for killing Jill, the doctor kidnaps Detective Hoffman, takes him to a familiar room, and declares the game officially over.
What do you think you're doing?
What the do you think you're doing?
It's totally ludicrous. But now that John Kramer's dead, at least this is guaranteed to be the Saw franchise's final chapter. Right?
No!
Game over.
No!
Number 3. Joe was a ghost, safe haven.
Oh, well, I'm not close by city standards. I'm Joe, by the way.
Safe Haven is a typical Nicholas Sparks adaptation about a girl named Katie and a guy named Alex who share a small-town romance. It's nothing great, but nothing awful either, until we get to the final couple of minutes.
I was a stupid young girl that got into a relationship with the wrong man.
How am I supposed to believe that?
Through a letter, Katie realizes that her friend Joe was actually Alex's late wife. In other words, Katie was talking to a ghost the whole movie.
I only wish I could be there, somehow, to meet you.
That's not... you can't... What? Pardon the mindless stammering, but that's the only way to describe just how random, illogical, and flat-out stupid this ending truly is. Number 2. Con! Star Trek Into Darkness. Into Darkness was such an awesome follow-up to J.J. Abrams' Star Trek reboot that it's easy to forgive the film's absurd ending.
My name is Khan.
With that said, it was a pretty absurd ending. Rather than paying homage to Wrath of Khan, Into Darkness literally recreates its spiritual successor's iconic climax. The only difference is that Kirk and Spock reverse roles, leading to Kirk's demise and Spock making William Shatner's infamously silly cursing sound even sillier. Don't worry though, because Bones basically cures death and brings Kirk back to life. Well, that's convenient.
Oh, don't be so melodramatic. You were barely dead.
Before we discuss how our top picks should have ended, here are a few honorable, or in this case, dishonorable mentions.
What do you want?
People still don't get it. They don't appreciate what I'm trying to say, Nick, but they will soon enough.
By the toll of 1 billion deaths, man had earned his immunity, his right to survive among this planet's infinite organisms.
Number 1. Robbie survives War of the Worlds.
What happened to him?
It's dying.
Steven Spielberg's War of the Worlds comes close to ending on a high note as the extraterrestrials are exterminated by the smallest of God's creatures. While Ray and Rachel make it to Boston, Ray's headstrong son Robbie is nowhere to be seen, however, allegedly dying after stupidly running into battle.
I need to be here. I want to see this.
Just when it looks like the story is going to challenge us with an ambiguously powerful ending, the prodigal son emerges without a scratch on him. And the narrator wraps up everything in a nice tidy bow. Son of a...
And that right is ours against all challenges. For neither do men live nor die in vain.
Do you agree with our list? What other endings made you hurl tomatoes at the silver screen?
Did you always know?
Oh, no. No, I didn't.
For more entertaining top 10s published every day, be sure to subscribe to WatchMojo.com.